Behind me you see empty board game shelves that just in few minutes will be full
with the best two-player games, in our humble professional board game opinions.
So follow us in the journey of finding out what are the best two-player board games, starting out with simple games where you just have to pick a card, to
games that are full of conflict, that means war, or games that need some pack spot, or at last, games that are based on really cool history. We'll start our journey with simple two-player game that is easiest on the rules, where all you do is just pick one card, like Agent Avenue. On your turn, all you will do is pick one card to play face up and one face down, and the other player has to pick one card. No, you pick that. You pick that one. Now he gets to move back one, and I get to the other card, which lets me
do nothing.
Do nothing. It's better than moving backwards, right?
But the really cool part is the next time you will get the same card, you will actually move forward 2 spaces. So it's a set collection game.
Exactly. And then the next player will pick 2 cards. We go back and forth until somebody catches the other player. So this is an amazing two-player game where you can explain the rules in just a couple of minutes and play one game in 10 to 20 minutes. That's why it's great.
Not as great as this game that we're gonna introduce. So this game has more moving parts, cards, board and everything else, but in general you just, well, pick a card, pick one and then do what it says, or get resources for later to pick other more powerful cards. That's all that you do. And if you catch the ring bearers or destroy the ring, or if you take the Middle Earth by force, you will be the winner. So whether you're catching the ring, trying to get other people to help you, or destroying Middle Earth with force, well, it's a fun game anyway, so let's move on from the pick a card category, which was a simple game, to something that, well, might take all day, but, well, is all about resources, like Civolution. This is your player board, and it will have a bunch of actions right here. With these, you will build up your civilization, and you will do that by rolling a bunch of dice and then using them to do different actions. So either you're playing bunch of cards, building out ships. I already said cards, I don't need you anymore. Or you're building farms or moving your meeples, exploring things. You do a million things here. And it's all really satisfying while you build up your civilization. I will place it like this so Janis does not have any room here, because it is the best two-player heavy Euro game. That's about it. You good?
I don't know where these go anymore. This is great, but let's face it. This is a Bitoku better. Bitoku is a giant Euro game where you're collecting all kinds of tokens on the board. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. And you're going to be using dice you roll to place them on the worker spaces to get those tokens. And those tokens will give you points for sets and all in between. It's an amazingly gorgeous two-player game that can be played with more, and I wouldn't suggest. Bitoku is a perfect dice placement game, which plays great with 2 players. And if you like games like Castles of Burgundy or Civolution that we already have here on the shelf, you're gonna love this. Plus, I think this is the prettiest of them all.
But what if you don't have the whole day to play something? You want something for family, something simpler, lighter? Well, you could play this beauty.
How come your quick resource game is so much bigger than your all-day resource?
Size doesn't matter, Janis. Okay? Ask your wife, she knows. This looks like a lot. The box is big, the tiles are epic, and it says special edition, right? But don't worry, the game is actually very simple, where you roll 2 dice and then do actions based on those dice. And usually those actions are getting these little pieces, beautiful houses that you set here, and you get points.
Yeah, and that's it. It's very quick moving. It plays perfectly well with 2. I'd say it's best with 2 or 3. And it is a game that makes you feel good for each action you do. Yeah.
It has the best mix of the looks, of the epicness of the game, and yet being so simple that it's a quick resource game for sure. How can I place it so Janis doesn't have any space here? This is good.
I came prepared with a smaller box, so I knew that I
can... And an ugly one as well.
It's amazing. Space. Some more space. And the best thing about that this has space, it will have space here. See? Right there. I knew that was gonna happen. In this game, you're building your own civilization out of cards. I know it doesn't sound that epic, but it's quick. And all you do is you're gonna select one action. Everyone does that. We flip them up and we just do those actions simultaneously. So quick indeed. And those cards in your empire will let you produce more resources that you place on your planets, invade other planets, sell those resources to get more cards, because this is one of the games that does one of the things I love. Cards are resources. So if I want to play this card that costs 2, I gotta pay 2 cards. Easy. It takes 30-40 minutes to play, and it plays very great with 2 players. So you build your civilization card by card, trying to score the most victory points. And who has the most victory points wins at the end of the game. And it is really a quick, small game that fits next to your friend's compensating big box.
Well, let's compensate to the next category, which is gonna be asymmetric games. And my pick is Ironwood. Good?
Good.
Was the shot good?
Good.
It's good. And the game's good as well.
No, Iron wouldn't.
You have played it?
I have.
Ah, you have.
I have played once. I lost, so it stacks.
So this is an asymmetric game where one player will play the Iron Clan, which are gonna use this thingy to drill in earth and get lots of resources and build these massive, strong armies and destroy him to bits.
And I am going to try to destroy you to bits by collecting these tokens that are spread out through the woods, and in this way gathering the spirits and destroying you! And the best part? My deck is totally different from your deck.
I will have these iron strong armies that march slowly, but when I will get to you, right? One day, that's it. And you are fast.
I'm fast. I'm like a resistance fighter, a guerrilla fighter where we strike fast and get out. Otherwise, we get crushed.
And all this by simple card play to move armies, to attack with these armies and destroy the other player. It's a lovely conflict board game that I place right here.
In my game, it also happens in the woods, but there's no iron, just the woods. In here, ghosts are real, and you're trying to fight the other faction for victory points. It's always victory. What's with the victory points? In Harrow Country, you will be trying to accomplish your faction's objective, and they're all very asymmetric. The objective might be destroying townhouses that are somewhere on the board, or saving townsfolk that are somewhere on the board. One player will pull his actions out of the bag, another player has card actions. It's very asymmetric, and the whole, not a defect. You just roll some cubes in there, and then some of them will fall out, and some of them not. And that's the combat. It's great, it's super asymmetric, yet it plays fairly quick. Harrow Country is one of those games where you're like, I get the rules, but how do I use my faction? So it rewards multiple playthroughs, and it just feels so fresh every time you play.
Another thing that feels really fresh, we talked about it. This shelf.
Sorry.
I was in the battle mode, you know?
These two were already pretty cinematic experiences, but can we take it to the next level? Let's move on to the category like a movie. So just recently in cinemas you watched Dune. Why not play Dune? Take the roles of Atreides or Harkonnen and fight over the sandy patch. So either be the bad army or the good army and fight for this territory. One will need to get victory points, the other one will need to get also victory points. There's gonna be lots of events, a lot of intrigue with fighting these armies, and just for Giannis's sake, because he's gonna pick it up, right? Lots of armies, it's a super fun thematical experience. This was anticlimactic, just 2 arms, that's all you got? 3 arms, much better. This game is one of the biggest thrills you can have with this hobby.
This game doesn't need an intro.
Wasn't this an intro? What do you mean doesn't need an intro?
well,
you already did an intro.
No, I know it's an intro,
That's
but-
not how it works.
Yeah, but how could I say that it doesn't need an intro without doing an intro? Let me just show you the game. In this game, you definitely get to relive your Star Wars fantasy. You get to build Death Stars, you get to be the rebels hiding from the Empire, you can destroy planets with those, you can capture Han Solo. If none of this makes sense to you, then you probably don't care for Star Wars. But if you care for Star Wars, this is a must-play game for you, hands down. It's a huge, epic game. Yes, hands down. In Star Wars Rebellion, you will send your generals and leaders to accomplish different kind of objectives, like build ships, fight others, so many things you can do here. It has dice rolling combat, it has card play, and it has your favorite Star Wars in a box. And this is not the correct shelf where it should go. It actually should go there. I knew that, and so I'm gonna pretend like this was meant all along.
We're kind of tired here from all these big boxes. What about pocket-sized board games, or just almost pocket-sized board games? For me, it's gonna be Mindbuck. Your task, mister, is to get the other person to 0 life points and then you win. How you can do that is by playing out cards with monsters and then attacking the other player. Anytime anybody plays a card, you can also play Mindbug and steal that monster, which means no monsters that you play will be saved during the game. The timing is very, very important. So it's simple. Either play a card or attack with the cards you have, and be careful because the other player might steal your cards. And really cool part, each player will have just 10 monsters, which means the game will flow really well and quickly. Not only it's a small package, it's also a quick package. Not something you would like in a bedroom, but on your board game table, maybe.
It does fit in a pocket, promise you. And this is my choice for the game that definitely fits in the pocket. Almost, definitely. The goal of this game is to destroy 3 bases of opponent. You do that by playing cards from your little card deck that you can make bigger with cards from this market, which feature characters from all over the Star Wars episodes 4, 5, and 6. And has a unique twist where you can destroy the cards in the market of the other player. Do you have something to add to this game?
It's great.
I bet it is, that's why it's on the list. So this is a great Star Wars experience if you don't have the whole day for the big brother. I mean, not your literal big brother, but the big brother, never mind. It's a great 2-player Star Wars game.
So all of these games before were about conflict, about fighting, but what if you want to work together? What if you want some co-op games like this beauty right here? So in this game, you together with your best buddy are going to land a plane by rolling a bunch of dice. And if we have learned anything about our cooperation, it's gonna be messy. Whenever you roll these dice, then you will be able to allocate them right here to do different actions. Open the flaps of the plane, move it forwards, brake, and do other things. But you have to do it without talking, which is my favorite mechanism whenever I play it with this guy. You have different scenarios and the modular gameplay that makes this game infinitely replayable and fun. Just as fun as the googly eyes.
What if you manage to land the plane and now want a bigger challenge? How about saving the world from pollution? In Daybreak, you are trying to save the world by decreasing pollution that is everywhere on the board. And you have to do that before the planet warms up too much. How do you do that? You do that by creating projects, essentially playing cards down and creating your unique combo of them. That will give you resources and best of all, will let you turn your dirty energy into clean green energy. And you together with the other player will win if you stop the pollution before it stops you and the world. Quite grim, right? But it's a good lesson for you and the other player in this co-op game. That goes onto our best co-op shelf. If I could only just hit it right.
But now let's stop with all the friendly things, all right? And go to war. In other words, this category is This Means War. And what better game to war against the other player than War of the Ring?
Well, these inserts actually is something I printed out myself, and no, the minis do not come pre-painted. I did it all by myself.
And if you ever would have been wondering, hey, I wonder how jealousy sounds.
Just like this.
This is War of the Rings in a box where the bad guys are trying to take over Middle-earth by force, and you, by rolling a bunch of dice, will try to stop them. You will use these dice to then create armies, fight back, and try to get Frodo and Sam to Mount Doom and destroy the ring. Well, the bad guy will do similar things. Roll more dice, move more armies, and will try to destroy Middle-earth or find and corrupt Frodo before everything is bad. So there's a bunch of conflict, bunch of fighting, bunch of war. And it's also one of my favorite games of all time. It's great. Here, what are you in?
Move away. Step away from the shelf.
Crazy person here.
Because it's time for some Undaunted. This is actually 3 games plus expansion in one box because I love it so much. It is a war game through and through. Your goal with your soldiers is going to be control certain areas to score points when the game ends. And you do that by playing cards. You're going to play cards to move those units around and attack with them. You will also use these cards as lives for these soldiers. When they get hit, you get that card removed from your deck. You get hit again, card goes, hit last time, the token is removed. So you feel that force running out. Literally, losing it feels bad.
But because it's also a deck builder, you get to get new cards and new lives for those. So you want to get more cards of that certain soldier to kind of boost him up.
Undoubted is the perfect two-player war game that has a unique twist on deck building. And I really love deck building. So that's why it's on our shelf for the best war two-player games.
So we move on to let's buy some packs, which means what if you want to buy something and then buy some boosters or buy some new content more and more, upgrade your game and experience more of that game, right?
And the keyword here is more and more and more and more and more.
My pick is Summoner Wars. In this game, your goal is to kill the other player's summoner, and you can do that by summoning a lot of monsters, moving them on the map and circling the opponent and then killing him with dice.
And what if you want some more summoners, sir?
Each of these decks are completely different characters, completely different powers, completely different gameplay. So there's a lot you can buy and improve your experience with just more stuff. Even though just 2 of these decks is quite enough to play again, and have epic, amazing time. And one of the coolest things about this is that it's super simple. You just play out cards and pay for them with mana and then attack by rolling dice. But it's super strategic, it's super fun, and there's a lot of content out there. If you're one of those content junkies like me,
then you need to get this. This is crazy. It has boosters, it has special sleeves, you can buy upgrade tokens, you don't even have to play the game. You don't have time to play the game because you're buying all the stuff. In Star Wars Unlimited, you will get your own deck and try to destroy the other player's base. You do that by having your leader and tons of cards that are events and units and all kinds of cool things. And the best part is you can buy boosters which might have cooler cards or cooler looking cards that you can add to your deck and buy more and more and more. So Star Wars Unlimited is a great, simple collectible card game that you can try to get into, but you've been warned. You might get in too deep. That's it. That's the closing argument. I got nothing else. What else do you need to know?
we've talked about tons of fantasy games, we have talked about tons of sci-fi games, but what about real history? What about history board games like Watergate? In this great 2-player game, one side will play Nixon's administration trying to hide evidence.
Alleged evidence? What do you mean? Nothing happened. Nothing happened. It's all hearsay.
And the other side will play journalists trying to find the truth by connecting Nixon together with witnesses.
There's nothing to hide because nothing happened, and this person doesn't want to talk to you.
And you will get to this end result, either Nixon ending his term or being impeached by playing out cards. And you will either use the action points right here to push the struggle towards your side, or play these cards and mostly destroy them if you use very powerful events, like for example getting some witnesses on your side. And you don't even have to care about history or the scandal in general. It's just a really, really good 2-player game that we here at Game Hangover recommend. And what's the last game we recommend?
Twilight Struggle. In Twilight Struggle, you will witness the struggle between US of A and USSR right after World War II, what is known as the Cold War. You will play these cards and try to influence and control different regions that will score you points. And who has the most points wins. Unless somebody reaches 20, then he wins immediately. And that's the best thing about this game. Choices between playing these events or getting those points for actions, similar to Watergate. Twilight Struggle is one of my first big epic war games, and still is one of my favorite games just because of its scope and research that has been done to create this game. It's just amazing. You should definitely give it a go.
And here you go, the shelves are full of the best 2-player board games that we can imagine.
If there was any game that we missed, let us know in the comments, and what type of ranking would you like to see in the future? Also, consider supporting us, because it will help us a lot if you will help us.
Exactly, that's the way how we can make these lists, if you help us with monetary support.
Right, Mr. Sives?
Bye!
Cheers.